அடுத்ததாக இளையோர் பாசறை மாணவன் திலகன் ஜெகதீஸ்வரன் அவர்கள் அகதி வாழ்க்கை என்ற தலைப்பில் ஆங்கிலத்தில் பேச்சு ஒன்றினை வழங்க வந்துள்ளார்.
Greetings everyone. I am Thilakan. Today I will be speaking on the topic of refugees and asylum seekers. I will first share my personal life and my story as a refugee in Thailand, and then speak in regards of refugees and asylum seekers in Thailand. So my story, I came to Thailand when I was 7 years old, and it's almost 11 years since I've been living in Thailand, which is more than half of my life. During these years, I have experienced my fair share of difficulties as a refugee. So to keep it short, we came to Thailand looking for protection and better change in our life. But Thailand has been an insecure place to live as well with regards to security, education, medical, and in many ways. For many years, we relied on the hope that UNHCR would resettle us to another country where we would have a legal status to live in and build our lives. But after a decade of waiting, my hope has been let down. As a young child, I didn't really understand what it meant to be a refugee, for the term was new to me. But as I came to Thailand and lived a life as a refugee, I couldn't blame it on my parents alone, for they also had no choice but to come to Thailand. I lost my freedom, whether it be in regards to my education, future, or just to even travel or do what I want to do. We would always be reminded of the fact that we are living in a country where we are not accepted. We are illegal, we could be arrested at any time, and never know how our lives would turn out to be. The realization of having achieved nothing when compared to kids around my age really makes me feel sad, for they have an identity for themselves and they have something to do of their own, while I have nothing of an identity and I'm an illegal living in Thailand. There's a lot to my life than what I've just shared, but I would like to now explain on about how refugees and asylum seekers live in Thailand rather than only about my perspective. First, everyone is not considered a refugee. There are two types of people who come to Thailand. One is asylum seeker and refugees. And there are also those who come to Thailand and their case is rejected from the UN. So refugees are the ones that we know where they seek refuge and they want to be resettled to another country. So this information is really crucial because even these organizations that we rely on discriminate us between these three, where one is refugee, the other is asylum seeker, and the others are rejected. And another problem is security. With the status of a refugee, we are not welcomed because Thailand does not give a legal right for refugees nor asylum seekers. Since we don't have a legal status to stay here, we are overstaying illegally, which makes us even more of a person who is condemning crime rather than being in our home country and facing the perpetrators. So if we were to stay here, we are also targeted by immigration officers who deport or put us in detention centers, also known as IDC, where this detention center is known for its poor condition, crowded rooms with more than enough people fit for a room, no appropriate food. Many have also been infected with harmful diseases and have been infected, whom they did not get enough medical care and have been infected for their whole life. So being rejected from the society just because you're not a part of it is a form of suffering one must endure as a refugee. It is not just this isolation that we must go through, but also the fear of arrest and the loss of identity of who we are and where we belong. So, as I mentioned, we are illegal in Thailand, so we don't have the right to work here. But how are we supposed to get the financial aid in order to pay for our rent or crucial needs? We ask the NGOs, which are in Thailand, for help, but we are denied. For only a few selected get the financial aid because Like I said earlier, we are discriminated in 3 categories. So these people treat us with no respect and treat us in an inferior way because of our status. Some people try to get help from churches, but not all get that help. Some try to do labor work that they can find, which offers enough money to meet their ends, but it is still too hard because we are not meant to work. So if we were found or caught to be working illegally, we would also be deported and we would also be put in the IDC. This constant need for help has left many feeling ashamed of their helplessness. So, for the main reason I want to talk about refugees is that many refugee children do not have enough education for themselves, for we've lost everything we came here. Because loss of education is something that a child or a teenager should never go through, for that is what gives them an identity for who they are and what they stand for. So, the NGOs here just teach the basic necessity for a kid. They don't give higher education, nor do they care about their higher education. It's only basics. And if we were to enroll into a international school or a Thai school, we would either need recommendation or fee aid because we are not able to cover all the fees. So finally, I would like to talk about medical care in Thailand. So whether it be a serious condition or a basic need of treatment, refugees have to go through excruciating procedures. So if we were to call up the NGOs in a serious condition and ask them for immediate medical treatment, they would ask us to wait and they would ask us to fill in a form, or it would either be an ignorant or a prolonging situation where we would not get the chance to meet with an actual doctor and consult the problem properly. So there is no proper healthcare system in Thailand just because treatment because just because medication is given doesn't mean that the problem is solved for a longer period. So right now I speak with personal experience, as recently my mother needed to find urgent medical care. We tried calling the NGO's hotline, but none of them answered the phone. We called and called, but after a few days we got a reply, and all they said was that we have to find help on our own, where we were to rely on the NGOs because they were the ones who were supposed to help refugees and asylum seekers. They refused our need for help, and they said that we had to find help on our own. But we went to another NGO and a small clinic here, and they said that they will look through and they'll get a hospital or a doctor. But as weeks passed by, it kept longer and it went longer and longer on. And 2 to 3 weeks later, we finally got a doctor, but the hospital said that they will not provide help for such needs, because I don't want to open up the personal context here, but they said that they will not be able to help us. So in that sort of a situation, it really asks me why humanity has to be this way, because we wanted help. We did not ask for personal finance or anything. All we wanted was proper medication. But if refugees are being discriminated for just who they are, well, we are still humans, aren't we? Because we need help, so we ask for help. But all they say is that just wait, we'll help you. But it's in a cycle where wait, help, no help. It's like that. So even though everything is tough and we have to go through a lot of obstacles as a refugee, I think that I'm able to spread an awareness, at least in this small group of community, of how refugees live in Thailand. So I hope that many of you understood as a refugee in Thailand how I shared my stories. Thank you.